Hello, and welcome to All I Do Is Fail. I am your host, Tom Elwes. I'm joined today, as ever, by my co-host, Mr. Ali Woods.
Hey, Tom. Hey, listeners. I hope you've had a wonderful week. I am absolutely loving it. I've got a Euros final on Sunday night.
I think we all do. It's
Well, I feel like I put in a bit of work. People.
You did all your OCD rituals, kissed your mum 3 times.
She only let me do it twice, but yeah, I got my trousers washed. My shirt washed, wore the same clothes, drank a can of Budweiser England beer.
Yeah.
Famous American English beer, Budweiser. And then went down and watched the game, Moortown Bell. I've also got a really habit of doing, and YouTube listeners will be able to see this a lot. The sort of
you're doing the Catholic cross.
Yeah, I'm not religious at all.
Okay.
If anything, I'm a devil.
Yeah.
But, that's quite provocative, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's.
And,
no one wants to hear that.
Anyway, so what's going on with you?
Good.
Okay?
It's been good. It's been fun. We
got messages in about that. I think last episode or even the episode before, when you immediately started just going into news stuff, and I was like, Tom, normally people ask how each other's doing, and I went, how you been? And you went, with what? What sort of career aspect are you talking about?
I would say last week we had too much to talk about with the Free Britney situation, so that was a whole thing that we had to get through, and we didn't have time for this pitter patter chit chat. Ladies and gentlemen, though, now the pitter patter chit chat is finally over.
I won't make the final cut anyway. Don't worry about that. I normally talk for 25 minutes before we start recording.
Yeah, I know, but this week you can't talk for 25 minutes because we are honoured today to be joined by baking superstar Lottie Bedlow.
Hi guys.
How are you today, Lottie? Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good. What did you nearly call me then?
I was about to call you Bedlow. I don't know why.
It happened.
Maybe it's the private school. It just went
brilliant. Straight out with the private school.
But look, I went to an all boys school as well. It was just free.
Can you tell?
Yeah.
No.
by my I'm just super masculine and hench and really humble. I saw a tweet. We'll get back to you, Lottie, in a minute. But I saw a tweet.
Worries, you take your time.
I saw a tweet.
If you just want to take your headphones off and leave for about 15 minutes, come back.
The YouTube, we just get whenever we've had guests on
we'll still be talking about his YouTube.
We just get comments on our YouTube about how the presenters never let the guests talk, and I'm like, that's good feedback, but you got to do your own thing. So I mean, you're not in front of camera. Anyway, I saw a tweet which was like, Southgate's narrative is exactly the reason why men can be successful only if they got a huge national humbling in their 20s, and I really like that. And
so you need a huge national humbling. Yeah, I think most people would agree with it.
I just will not get famous enough to be in front of the nation. Anyway, Lottie, so Bedlow.
Yeah, hi.
So how's your day been? All good? How was the trip here?
Yeah, just got on a train.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing to report.
Okay. And how have you found dealing with your fame? Do people stop you on the street and go, what's your favourite cake?
I do a disguise very well. I wear a lot of hoodies.
Is that what the glasses and the headphones are?
Is that, do you genuinely need the disguise at this point?
It depends where I am. In London, I can get away with it.
Okay, so we've skipped through. Okay, let's welcome the guest on properly, Tom.
Okay, we are joined today by Lottie Bedlow.
We've done that bit, for fuck's sake.
Just wait, there's a whole intro coming. Just calm down.
Jesus Christ.
We're not making us out to be some kind of amateur podcast here. This is professional shit.
This is newsworthy. Do you want to come on our show on GB News?
Yeah, sure.
It's called.
We're getting a show on GB News. Yeah. People are going to come out and show us things that might be borderline, and we decide.
Okay. Yeah.
Just who you need deciding what's racist. 2 white guys, perfect.
Yeah, that's ideal.
And people presenting are white as well.
Yeah.
So
I said this down the pub. Apparently.
No.
And you know
none of this will make the cut. Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined today by baking superstar Lottie Bedlow. How are you, Lottie?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Good. We are very happy to have you here. For the listeners who don't know, Lottie was the star of Bake Off 2020. The shining, the crowning, the one that really stuck out as for
so
people.
I didn't win it. I wasn't a finalist.
Yeah,
I wasn't a semi-finalist.
Well, we couldn't get any of those on.
No, they're busy.
They're all doing professional baking stuff.
Yeah, for a living.
But you are as well. You are.
Yeah.
So we didn't finish, but the reason why you were the superstar of that series was because of your personality shone through.
Thank you. That makes me very awkward, and I don't know how to respond to it.
Yeah. Well, this is sort of dry quality banter that makes you such a superstar. but that's amazing, isn't it? How good is that? But before we started the podcast, and I'm not sure if we actually have officially started yet. We'll do it in a few more moments. But you were telling us a story about how you even applied and got onto Bake Off? And
Yeah.
may you please?
Yeah, so I was very bored in lockdown. It was the beginning of lockdown, and I was on the loo, and I was bored, as you do. You're kind of swiping, and I found the application form for Bake Off, and it's a really long form.
Really?
Yeah. So I started.
It was a long
it.
time on the toilet.
I started it. I started it.
I
on
got
the loo,
25 minutes.
and I was like, I'm gonna have to take this elsewhere. Like, I can't stay here for the next 4 hours.
It's a good relaxing place to do it.
Yeah, and then it all got a bit out of hand.
What sort of stuff do they ask you on that form then?
Yeah.
I assume you have to give your CV, baking.
Do you bake?
Do you bake?
How do you bake?
You don't
Oh.
strike me as someone who is like.
I just feel like if
useful
I
at
start
stuff.
telling you what's actually on the application form, you're not going to know what I'm talking about.
I don't bake.
Bake.
Unfortunately, well, I'm from a family of bakers. My mum, she's Scottish, and she's from her family. They all had bakers in Scotland, and they said to them, and there were 3 chains. There were 3 shops, and their composition was Greg's, and they were like, "You cannot go to Greg's. If I see you in Greg's, you're not fucking coming back to this house." And that has
In
not
hindsight,
passed down to
yeah,
me.
Greg's won. So.
Yeah.
It's still up for
Sad
grabs.
story,
Yeah.
isn't it?
It's
It's a
still-
sad story.
You got to let them get into a state of comfort, lull them into a
I
false
don't want to be a
sense of
dick, but I see a lot of Greg's. Not so much of your family's.
What was it called, your family?
Well, no, I
You
don't even know.
Yeah.
It was gone. But basically, my mum was a kid, but by the time she was an adult, it was done with. I think that was it. But
That's
she
very
learned a lot of baking skills. My mum loves baking, hates cooking.
Okay.
though.
Do you want to give me her number and I'll let her know about the
Well,
application form?
Tom wants her to do the podcast.
What do we? I keep trying, but that's.
What's on the
do you
form?
want-
What are the bakers like? Come on, walk us through.
the process.
Okay, so why do you want to be on the show?
Cool.
Why do you like baking?
So what did you write for that bit?
Yeah.
Why you want to be on the show?
On
the toilet and
challenge,
bored.
something,
Yeah.
blah blah. Need a challenge in life, whatever. And then there are a couple kind of things like, have you ever made shoe pastry? If so, give us an example. And then you have to like post a picture and talk about it. I hadn't baked most of the things on the list, so I quickly baked them and took photos of them.
What do
Wow.
you think the producers are looking for from a tech contestant?
I think that they're looking for someone who's relatable, because the majority of people who
Trying to go
watch-
on.
Yeah, are you trying to get on Bake
I
Off?
mean-
I'll happily support your application.
Yeah, that'd be good if you could. That'd be great. I've never baked in my life, but
Yeah, you
know.
sound like the perfect candidate.
Exactly. I mean,
He's
you know, it's all a reality show now anyway.
He's
so-
a
Oh
microwave.
my god.
He's a microwave pizza sort of guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I
no,
no,
I
that
actually
was a
could-
thing.
Oh,
You
you-
microwave
what-
a pizza?
I don't know, Tom, can you? Apparently.
I mean, I'm sure you can microwave anything, but yeah.
There you go. You microwave anything, mate. That's what I want to bring to Bake Off.
Yeah.
You're doing
You
that
ever
on
had
the
a
desk, and you're
rustlers?
like,
You know what a rustlers is?
Where's
It's
the mic?
delicious.
I've never eaten that. Have you
Yeah.
eaten one of those?
I'll tell you what I've baked. One of those goo chocolate puddings in the microwave.
They're great.
Yeah, they are good.
No, you put them in the
Yeah,
microwave. I put
serious
them in the
talk.
oven. I put them.
Yeah, I put them in the oven as well.
Nah, you can do both. It depends which one. Souffle. The souffle has to go in the oven.
Yeah.
But the melt in the middle chocolate lava
Microwave.
puddings microwave.
Look at that. Literally talking about how amazing it is she is at baking. She's like, yeah, those got to go on. No, mate. No, you got that wrong, son. What are you talking about? I know my baking shit.
Yeah. So anyway, back to the question. What do you reckon they're looking for a contestant?
I think they're looking for someone who's relatable, because the people who watch Bake Off want to be able to be inspired and think, oh, I can bake that at home. So I think that they're looking for a handful of relatable people, and then they're looking for a handful of like genuinely talented bakers.
Right.
I was not the latter.
Okay.
Well, you were though, because you got the handshake from Paul Hollywood, which I've heard. is a thing.
Done your research, haven't watched the show.
Yeah.
He's looked it up.
I watched clips.
Yeah, someone on YouTube has made a sort of montage of your whole
Oh, God.
Bake Off kind of experience. Yeah.
Was it you?
Yeah. It's just him narrating it the whole time as
Yeah.
well.
That's not creepy.
Going like, shouldn't be putting that in the microwave. Don't know what you're doing, putting that in the oven. Idiots.
Someone did make a cake in the microwave, actually. Rowan.
What on
Classic Rowan though.
Yeah, classic Rowan. God, I
Whoa.
wish he'd watched the show. God.
what? So he what on your season?
Yeah.
He put a whole cake in a microwave.
Yeah, so it wasn't cooking properly, and so he just kind of, he's brilliant. He's utterly
When,
brilliant.
when you saw him doing that, was everyone like, "Oh my god, what's he doing?"
He's
Was it
out.
like,
He's
"Oh
out."
my bloody god"? How
But
dare he?"
also, I thought maybe he knows something I don't. Like, maybe that's like a trick. Do you know what
secret
I mean?
kind of.
And then when we came out, he was like, oh, I had to put it in the microwave. It wasn't cooking. And I was like, oh, okay, it was just you fucking it up. I thought it was like a planned
Yeah.
thing. But yeah, I think there's just a lot. People want the kind of the excitement, the drama. Like, it's only cake. Do you know what I mean? It's very kind of relaxing watching, isn't it? Bunting.
Yeah, it's sort of
Nice.
it's the most like quintessentially British show. It has a sort of vibes, and this is going to sound weird, but kind of like murder mystery. It's like very safe, but there is tension and drama.
There is fewer
like,
murders.
Yeah,
I'd say,
fewer,
but yeah.
No, but it's like that similar. It's that similar level of like. No, but it's a similar level of sort of like Midsummer Murder. It's got probably a very similar audience, I would say, to sort of Midsummer Murder or like Miss Marple kind of thing. It's like safe, but there is a degree of tension, and that's what really makes the show. So take us through. So you apply for the application, and then what's the next step in the process?
So then there are a variety of other stages which I'm not actually supposed to talk to you about because they want to keep it a secret. But there are a few auditions.
Yeah, they have to make this with arsenic.
Yeah. There's a lot of baking rounds, and you bake for people and they test it.
I would like it was like what they put you under pressure kind of thing, and like. So
there is a round where you have to do a technical filmed with
people shout at you, see how you go under pressure.
That's how it felt.
Yeah. Get the water cannon out. Can you bake?
I want that to be my job so bad.
What scream at potential bake-off contestants?
Potential bake-off, because I can just imagine. Here she is, Mabel. Thank you so much for coming down. What, 89? Oh, bless you. All right, bake a tart. Do it, Mabel. Do it. I'd love that.
He would get off on that quite a lot.
Yeah. Well, you could do that in your own time. Maybe.
Yeah.
So what I just did there, I often scream at my wall like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. For what gain?
Gain. It's helped me get through the day.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Each to their own.
Helps them sleep at night. Okay, so we get
my neighbours. They do not enjoy it, especially Mabel.
So you go through the secret rounds that we can't talk about, right? And then we'll go through all the secret rounds, and then that's it. Do you get a phone call, or is there a handshake? What's the?
No, you have to really work for the handshake.
Yeah.
So no, there's a phone call, and I swore a lot on my phone call.
Wow.
Basically, one of the rounds.
Trying to get them to give it to you.
No, I
fucking
genuinely
reject me, you fucking asshole. I'll come round and fuck you up. Oh, thank you so much. Cheers.
I really fucked my audition, like badly. And I ended up kind of leaving semi-early, and everyone else was kind of like chatting and being like, oh my God, that was so much fun. Thanks so much for having me, blah. And I was like, I'd like to leave, please. And it's because the thing that I'd baked was raw, and it was just really awful, and it was actually embarrassing. And we had to like lay all of our bakes out in front of everyone, and like.
Was it in the tent, the audition?
No. It was in London somewhere, and then it was just awful. And so I went, you're not allowed to tell people that you're auditioning and all the rest of it. So I told kind of like nearest and dearest what I was doing, and they were all like, "Oh my God, well you've definitely fucked it." And then I got a phone call, and then. I swore very loudly at the producer, and she said, and could you work on your swearing before the show? And I was like, yeah.
100%.
Oh shit, 100%. I said fuck. Oh fuck, I said shit.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it went.
Okay, and then how many weeks is it filmed over the series?
So it's different for me because I did it in COVID time. So we were in a bubble with all cast, crew, creatives, all of us. So 130 of us in a hotel in Essex for 6 weeks.
Wow.
That's the package deal that we're trying to sell.
Yeah, on AIDIF we were thinking about possibly when you couldn't go away. They have actually opened up Ibiza now. So
really?
Yeah, we're going to sort of rent a Butlins and kind of do a sort of lads on tour kind of.
Yeah. Was it called Lockdown
Madness? Yeah, whatever.
Like that,
If you want to come, we could probably put you on as like a DJ because you've been on Bake Off. So
really
what sort of tunes?
Oh, I don't think it's for the masses.
Baby Cakes.
Wow.
That's the only cake-related song I could think of. Anyone else? Jump in.
Drake Pound Cake.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
These are good. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
This is why I'm sure you're looking forward to this coming on.
Yeah.
I don't want to listen to it.
Yeah.
No, a lot of our guests have to say the same thing. So 130 in a Essex hotel for 6 weeks.
And is it the regular season? Is that sort of filmed over a longer period?
So I think they're probably filmed over the same period, but they have they only film at weekends. So they go back, do their lives, do work, and then they only film at weekends. Whereas we were like 2 days on, 2 days off. So
wow, very intense.
Very intense, yeah.
And did you find was there like a dress rehearsal or anything, or did you get to see the tent? Nothing, none of that before the first one. Like it wasn't like, oh, here's the space, this is your gear.
We went in just like for the soundies to kind of like work out, where we should stand and fix our marks and stuff. But there was no kind of like, and so then you'll get the butter out. It was like on the day we got there, and then they were like, on your marks, get set, bake. That's real.
Whoa.
Like, that's the real deal.
And okay, so were there? I don't know if you can say what we would even want to say, but are there any camera tricks or anything that is like edited or put together? Is there any kind of element of kind of showmanship to it, or is it 100% full
No,
competition?
It's 100% real.
Amazing, yeah, that's
Is it
great.
sort of-
Most TV, there's always, they're always shooting around stuff, and it's like a bit scripted or whatever.
No.
But
This is the
amazing.
sort of investigative journalism that we.
Yeah, you guys
do.
are good.
Most people go after sort of big like the royal family or like
Yeah.
big business, big pharma, but we're gonna break
Tricks of Bake Off.
We're gonna.
That's what we want to know.
We're gonna. Those big wigs at Bake Off. Fuck them.
We'll see. We'll
Sort
see.
of
So,
but what was it like in a hotel, 130 people in Essex with randoms? Did you get on with people mainly, or
Yeah. It was really
did
good
you
fun.
become head girl of that 130 as well?
Oh, it's awkward that you bring up her girl. So it was actually fine. Like, it was lovely, but we were very, very stressed. So I'm used to working with like crew from my real job in producing, and so I just wanted to like hang out with the team and chat and get all the goss. But as bakers, we were all told that like we could only talk to each other.
What?
So because we weren't allowed to like, just in case like one of them got pissed and told us what the technical was going to be the next day or whatever. So we weren't allowed to socialise with the bigger group. So it was just us.
was it okay? So with the bakers, was there any like sort of speculation, or was there a lot of talking about what we thought the technical would be the next
yeah.
day? Like
Yeah, yeah,
constantly kind of trying
Yeah.
to think about what might be coming.
Yeah, 100%. We were Googling. Japanese week was particularly difficult. We were watching Paul Hollywood Goes to Japan, which is a series that he brought out.
Yeah.
We were convinced that there was going to be something on there that he would have found and put in a technical.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was studious.
Wow. And so every week, so you come in on that first day. You come in and you go, and they go, what was the first week that you was at?
Cake.
Cake, right? Good. I don't know why that was funny, but it was like just
Yeah.
cake. Yeah.
It's well researched, this interview.
Yeah. Week one, cake. Good. Okay, and so week one, cake, and they do the talk. They talk at the front. There must be some like preamble and introduction and like introducing people and no, none of that.
No.
None of that. There's no. You don't have to like say hi, I'm Lottie or anything like
No.
that. It's literally just bake.
Straight in,
Just
yeah.
bake.
You don't
Yeah,
learn
yeah.
their names until week 4. That's what they do.
Yeah, it's pointless.
They just have
Yeah.
them chained to the oven.
Yeah.
They can't leave.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay.
And what was it like meeting Matt Lucas, Noel Fielding? And,
Amazing.
Prue
Amazing.
And Paul.
Noel was obviously as great as you'd want him to be, like legend. I told him that I'd once stalked him in a bar in Camden, which is true.
Wow.
He was out on a night out with Russell Brand, and I saw them in this metal club in Camden, and I was like, I'm just going to mainly for Russell, to be honest. But then
Probably
you
would have been
changed-
in with a good shout with Russell, to be fair.
Yeah.
Change the story with
Yeah.
mainly for you, Noel.
Yeah.
Everyone.
that's literally what happened. I told him that, yeah.
Fair.
But
Camden
yeah,
used
Matt
to-
Lucas was great.
Sorry, that's when Camden used to be really cool. Do you remember when Camden was really cool?
Yeah.
Now it's
Pete
all Pret a
Doherty, Noel
Mangeries.
Fielding.
It's changed a lot. That's the one place I've actually seen in my time
Change.
proper. Well, this was back when it was exactly Pete Doherty, Amy Winehouse.
Yeah.
Well, and it was
Paulie
all
Arms,
metal when
good
it was
times.
all
How old are
tattoo
you?
places. I'm 46.
Yeah.
You know.
I know, but it's called moisturiser. A lot of guys.
He's actually in his 20s, although his hairline says 40s. It's
It's
Are
called
you in
it's
your
called
20s?
maturing hairline.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't believe either of you now. Well, how old are you actually?
I'm 27.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he seriously is.
Yeah, no,
I know, it's weird. I'm 29.
I know I come across as equally old man and very mature, so so it's like, are you 21 or are you 41? But and Tom is for the purposes of this, he's 29, but he's actually 37.
No, he's not 37.
No, he's joking. I'm 29.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Cool. Anyway, okay, so week one, baking cake, and
Yeah.
that must just be the pressure that you must feel. I know it is just baking, but it's still like it's a competition, and it's like it's such a technical thing to do, baking, and it's so difficult.
I
And
know, look at this. He's trying. He's really trying. He really is.
No, it's good.
This is-
Yeah.
Tom, I think you're doing a great job, man.
Do you want to go?
I've never seen Tom take us interview this seriously. We've had people talk about like suicide, and we've been here going, yeah, well, whatever. Yeah, it's part of it. But he's like baking for me.
I'm just trying to
is
make it an
just
experience for the listeners
so
that they'll want to hear, as
I
opposed
hear
to
that.
just
Yeah,
that's talking.
Yeah.
So they go, that's it, we're in, and we're baking, and we're going, and it's just all the pressure's on, and you just got to go, and like, and the cameras are in your face, I assume.
Yeah.
Because that's what I always find weird about the show is just like those cameramen. You obviously don't see them, but they must be about right there.
Yeah. So you have there are 4 teams in the tent. You each have a story producer, so someone who you're like talking to and who's following you throughout the bake. But there are definitely camera crew in there. Like, there's definitely a couple who are just waiting for fuck ups,
Right.
Because like they spent a lot of time around me and Laura, and just kind of like waiting for something to go wrong.
Really?
But that, yeah, it's fun. You kind of don't really have time to think about it. Like, you don't really have time to look at the camera and think, oh God, I hope this comes across. Like, there's literally no time. Like, you're just like, I really hope I bake a cake.
Fuck. Okay. And so if you do fuck up, instantly, is there just a cameraman
Yeah.
over your shoulder? Like,
Yeah.
they know, and the
Yeah,
producers
yeah.
in the tent, like everyone, they're
Yeah.
trying to catch that. They want
Yeah, of
that.
course. Yeah. That's the comedy gold everyone's tuning in for, right?
And then is that when they send over one of the presenters to ask you
Yeah.
how things are going?
Yeah,
Mainly
clearly
when you.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's when you know that it's going to make the cut. Like, they send over Noel. Noel's like, what are you doing? It's like, yeah, obviously you can see that I don't want you here right now. But yeah, that's part of it, isn't it?
Part of the drama. I guess that's what makes the show.
Yeah.
It's really intense. So you made it to what week in Bake Off?
7. Why am I looking at you? You haven't seen it. I think it was
What's it
7.
called? What's the show called?
Yeah, funny. I think it was about week 7.
Okay. And let's say you leave and you're done, and that's it. Is there any? You just sayonara, you're off. There's no like post after care or anything like that. There's no one who comes speaks to you or anything.
No, there definitely. I mean, there is care there. There's
Yeah.
definitely a support team if I needed it.
Good. Okay.
So thanks for checking
Yeah.
on that.
Are you okay?
I'm
Yeah.
good. Yeah, thanks for asking. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, all good. But no, when you kind of go, because of the COVID bubble situation, you literally had to leave site and then you couldn't come back. Whereas in previous years, everyone comes back for the final and like all of the people are there with their families. And it's like a fair and all this. We didn't have any of that. So yeah, when you were off, you literally, got a lift or whatever, jumped in your car and drove off, and that was it.
That was it. And how long was the gap between filming and airing?
A good couple of months.
Okay.
So yeah, there was a lot of time when you're just kind of thinking like, oh God, remember that thing I did that was like me, with my mates in a hotel that feels so long ago, and
Yeah.
then suddenly you see a trail for it on Channel 4 and you're like, wow, that's happening.
Did you tell all your friends and family that you had done it, or did you leave it as a surprise to some?
We weren't allowed, so it's all very secretive. So I told my family, because I'm obviously 33, living at home, living the dream. My family knew obviously where I was, but yeah, a lot of friends I think had just assumed that I was going to prison or something equally dodgy, because it was the middle of COVID. You can't go away, like you physically can't leave the country. And so I was saying, I'm going away for a bit, and they'd be like, how long? And I'd be like, oh, I don't know. And then they'd be like, where? And I'd be like, I can't tell you.
Right.
So that was a bit weird. But then as soon as the trails were like announced and it hit the press, then I was allowed to be like, oh, guys, this is what
I did
what I've
Bake
been doing.
Off.
I did Bake Off.
Yeah. And did people freak out? Were people really happy for you? Was anyone mean about it and was like sort of put you down?
I think a lot of people who are close to me thought it was a really stupid idea, but by that point it was too late.
Why did they think it was a stupid idea?
Because it's very out of character for me to do something like that.
Okay.
Like kind of the idea that I've actually volunteered to have people look at me and watch me do stuff
Okay.
is not in my character. So I think they were quite shocked and surprised. And there was a lot of people who, I think one of my mates just said, so getting all excited about the airing, and he was like, well, mate, you fucked it. Like, this is it. You're going to be on TV. You can't be secret anymore. You can't hide away and not talk to people. And what are you going to do when people ask for selfies? And I was like, look, that's not going to happen.
And then it really happened. What was the first time you got recognised from Bake Off? What was that like, and where was it?
It was on a street on a night out in Worthing, and a drunk woman walked past me and just shouted, "Bake Off!" really loudly in my face. And I was like, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
What do you do from there? Like, how do you interact with them after that? It's like,
Yeah, thank you.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I started being really, trying to be really gracious. So and when it happened before, it'd be like, oh my God, you're from Bake Off. And I'd go, thank you, yes, thanks for watching.
Whereas
Thanks
now
for
you're just like, oh, fuck off.
And no, now, it is wearing off, and the masks are really helpful.
Yes.
I'll be wearing mine voluntarily post July 19th.
And did you find from the first episode, did your just social media account just explode?
Yeah, it was really lovely actually. Lots of nice messages, and I think we all felt very just really quite humbled by it. Like, there are lots of people kind of saying lovely things about, I mean, let's be real, not my baking necessarily, but just being nice about, like, oh, it's really nice to see someone who's on there who bakes like me, like really chaotic and I was just like, okay, sweet. Yeah, whatever you want to take from it. Do you know what I mean? That's lovely feedback.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Like Olympic athletes go. It's really nice someone seeing who's as fast as me at 100 metres. He's not fucking slow. So that was uplifting.
You can do it. Anyone can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
You didn't get
the
any
vibe.
baking trolls being like, that lemon tart was shit.
Yeah. There must have been some curtain twitching.
Yeah, I mean, there's always people. Like, I've been that person watching Bake Off going, well, why are you doing that? Like, what a ridiculous thing to do. I wouldn't have done it like that. But when you're in the... He doesn't watch it.
Yeah.
So when you're in the tent, you just don't... You kind of don't think about that stuff. And then, like, you don't... All of your kind of common sense just goes out the window, and everything you think you know about baking just, like, falls out your ear. And you're just kind of doing whatever you can to survive. That's how it feels like.
That's a great promo. Everything you know about baking
Just falls out your ear.
just falls out your ear. Bake Off 2021.
Survive.
Survive.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, so you come out and then you start getting recognised and your Instagram starts blowing up. And then what sort of direction have you gone with your baking now? Have you got plans to sort of do a book or more on TV baking? Like what are you thinking?
So I have some projects that I'm not allowed to talk about.
Ooh.
Boring.
Okay.
Talk about this. It's
Yeah.
fine, don't worry.
No one will listen to this. It's all right. Yeah.
So I'm doing some writing.
Okay.
Is what I'll say.
Okay.
And that's taking up a lot of my time.
Ooh, I reckon it might be a book.
Well, I wouldn't like to confirm
A picture book.
that. Yeah, imagine. That'd be slightly easier.
Your
actually.
memoirs.
Yeah.
Well, you joke about that, but actually someone, a publisher, came to me and said, could you write your autobiography? And I was like, A, who cares? B, I'm only 33. Like, I've not done much to write about with my life.
What you could do if you were or were not writing a book is that I know that if you read a lot of cookery books, they put things in bits of their life. So like people will put like a chunk to do with the recipe.
Yeah.
So you sort of like, I came up with these lemon tarts at school and blah blah blah.
But does
such and
anyone
such.
read that?
Probably.
I don't think so.
I think if the marketing was right, that it was a bit of both. I think people would get on board.
I just don't have that. I don't want people to read of that about my life. I just think it's boring, really.
I think you're underselling it. I think people would be really interested. There's probably loads of your fans who would love it.
Okay, don't call them fans. That makes me feel horrific.
Okay. What would you like me to call them? Those pieces of shit who follow
just
you?
like-
Yeah.
They're called Lottie followers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Keep it on
Yeah.
brand.
We call them the Bedlows. Okay, so
Oh.
that's yeah.
No, I just think like fans makes me sound as if I've done something to fan over. Do you know what I mean? Like I haven't done it. I just went on a show that
You
anyone
baked some
could go.
fucking good cake.
You
Yeah.
haven't seen them, Ali.
Yeah, but I hear they were good. So
But I would say, like,
the feedback speaks for itself.
I would say going on
You
bake.
could have brought one.
Yeah.
But
Do
Do you know
alas,
Yeah.
what? I nearly
didn't-
did.
That
and
would have
I
been
thought that would be
amazing.
like that's so wet, isn't it? To turn up with baking and be like, "Thanks for having me, Johnson Cake."
Well, I mean, yeah,
Normally-
it's much better to not have any cake.
And tell you about it.
Yeah, exactly. And then go, yeah, my cake's pretty sick. I didn't bring any for you.
No- normally guests
didn't want to
gen-
be too nice. Was that what you were saying? Didn't want to be too much of a nice person.
No, I think
so
that's proper head girl, isn't it?
That
It's like
is.
sucking up kind of thing.
Well,
like,
no, but
please
you-
be nice to me. Have some millionaire shortbread.
Have we-
You're already
we-
head girl. You don't need to suck up anymore.
I'm just trying to think if we ever had guests or anyone bring anything to the show. Just mainly like emotional
Trauma?
baggage.
Trauma?
Yeah, like that's,
Yeah.
They brought and they've left with more.
yeah.
We've never had cakes. I think Uncle Ed brought some sweetbread.
Okay. Yeah.
And a lot of stories.
Yeah, yeah.
But do you get that a lot now of everyone just when you go anywhere just be like, do you not bring some brownies or something? Do you not bring something?
So because I'm doing a lot of recipe development at the moment, there is normally kind of a lot of cake flying around.
Recipe development.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Top secret. Is that with NASA?
Yeah.
Going up to the space station with the old space cakes. Yeah.
I'm working with Elon Musk to
Yeah.
feed Martians.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Recipe
would be cool, but
development.
no.
That sounds stressful.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Have you
It
had sort of like brand kind of endorsement from like big major cake companies or like coming to you to be like, oh, can you do like a recipe?
Like
for us?
Kipling.
Yeah,
like
Kipling.
Yeah.
we want Lottie's
Let's-
Kipling.
Yeah.
Let's be real about this. The people who want me to endorse things are not baking cake related.
Okay.
Like they're not the people that are coming to me. They're going to the people who are like finalists. Do you know what I mean? The people who can actually bake.
Fuck them. Who cares? They don't give a shit. You
No.
were.
You were the
stole
standout
nation's
star.
hearts.
Guys, I don't think I was the stand. I don't think we can keep saying that.
Well, look.
In
I know
our
this is coming
opinion,
from
you were the
someone-
standout star.
I haven't watched a single episode, but for me,
He's got
Yeah.
you were the
Yeah.
best I've ever seen on Bake
Oh,
Off.
that means honestly. That
Honestly,
means the
it
world.
is, and I mean that with the bottom of my heart.
Yeah.
So, but who comes to you then? Like shitty cakes?
That's not a brand. Let's make it one though.
Will be though. After this,
Shitty cakes.
shitty cakes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can use that one if you want. You can.
Thanks,
That's what you can
guys,
call
thank
your
you.
book.
What do you mean you can't
Lottie
use that
Bedlow,
one?
shitty
You
cakes.
can't use that one. That's TM. We can talk. We can talk if you want to use shitty cakes, but
Shitty cakes. This is, there's something in that with the kind of anyone can bake kind
Yeah.
of vibe to it.
exactly
Yeah.
shitty cakes, man. Sounds better every time I say it.
Shitty cakes.
Helping you raise the dough.
It's a hard.
Oh wow.
It's a hard sell in Waterstones if you just have
Shitty cakes.
shitty cakes in the front of your
we
book.
don't need your Waterstones. It's purely online.
Okay.
Okay. No money.
No money. Yeah.
But-
No money
No.
online. No money online, mate. Speak for yourself.
Do you read books online?
Don't read books. Next question.
Yeah. Every week. This is what we're
Yeah,
doing
it's
with.
good. It's good.
Yeah.
Thank
It's a
you.
fun dynamic.
Bit of
I mean,
compliment I've had in
I
my life.
listen to it.
That's good. Every week.
I'll be honest. I've listened to one episode.
Oh,
'Cause Ali sent
okay,
it to me,
okay.
but
Nice
that I
to
hadn't
know
heard of it before.
And you
So
almost got to halfway, didn't you? That
Yeah.
one, so
I
that's
listened
pretty
to the
impressive.
whole thing.
Jesus, sorry about
Wolf. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good guess though. Good.
Yeah.
Did you know one of them was his ex?
Wow, you hid
You have to
that
cut
really
this.
well.
I have to cut this up. So that's
You
good.
hid that really well.
Yeah.
Like talking about the dating and everything, you didn't bring it up once.
No, not once.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with your recipe development.
Thanks.
Is it like, are they like, you have to have banging recipes by 18th of July or something?
Yeah.
Jesus, do you want to help?
Uh,
Tom's pretty good at the baking, apparently.
Yeah,
We need
microwave
to,
cakes.
big
Yeah.
microwave section's
Yeah.
90% of it, 10% on if you got
All
a
I'm
bit of
saying
time.
is, if you did do one recipe that could be done in a microwave,
Yeah.
people would probably get on board.
Okay.
If there was just one at the back, in the extra bit, whatever.
Like a mug cake.
Yeah, exactly. If you did a mug cake that could just bang into the microwave, there would be people who would love that.
I
Okay.
need to get, my mum does the best, the best,
She bakes cakes with your name on it or something.
best caramel shortbread.
Does she?
Yeah. I'll need to get your expert opinion on it, on how good
Yeah.
it is.
Great.
Because she's for years, for my whole life, and that's whenever like there's a drama or people need to pick me up, she makes caramel shortbread.
And is that like a millionaire's shortbread?
is, yeah,
like
yeah.
so shortbread at the bottom, caramel.
She won't tell me the recipe. She
Okay,
says,
but you know what elements are in it.
Huh? Yeah.
So
The flour.
There's like a biscuit. Yeah.
No, it's a shortbread.
Okay.
It's
so
not a biscuit.
Shortbread.
What are you on Bake Off?
Shortbread, then caramel, and then just chocolate. What makes it so special?
Because it's with love.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I can't write that shit into
Maybe
a
love.
recipe, you know.
But you could write down. Then that's what all the ideas come together. Tom's little story bit. My mum.
Yeah.
You can use my story. My mum used to
Thank
make
you.
this for me. Blah, blah, it makes
The
it with
secret
love.
ingredient is love.
Yeah, and that'll be the front runner.
No
I feel like I've
Never
read
said
that
that
in
before.
yeah, definitely
You know what I
in like a
mean?
million baking books. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
been done.
It'll be from the heart.
How do you make revolutionize baking? How do you make it
Wow.
creative? What's what do you think makes your baking stand out or a bit different, like with your brand?
So I do a lot of eating.
Good.
Really like
Same
cake.
every day.
Yeah, and I think I've just I've done that all my life. Like I've eaten a hell of a
Good.
I've
Yeah.
done some eating all my
No way.
life.
You mean
Every
Good.
day I try and eat every day.
Good. Yeah.
But I think
Are you
that,
sure, babes?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to take a
Mm,
week off.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like.
that's actually made the hairs on the back of
Yeah.
my neck stand up. That accent is awful.
Thank you. So much.
So I just did a lot of research without realizing it was research. So it was just me eating.
Yeah.
And then you kind of find your favorite things, and then you think, why hasn't anyone put this and this together, or this and that together? And then you do it, and then it tastes like shit, and then you do it until it tastes good.
Ooh.
Great.
What's the worst baking thing that you think should be got rid of? The cake that you think is just rubbish and everyone seems to like, or if you just like them all?
A Christmas cake.
Really?
Yeah, don't get it. Do
the
you not?
flames?
To be fair,
Okay,
it's
that's
only
Christmas pudding.
Yeah.
Oh, is it different?
Don't
Yeah.
set light to your Christmas cake. Won't work.
Okay, I say like to every pudding I
Yeah.
have. It's a sense of theatre that I bring to hosting.
Yeah, yeah.
But Christmas cake is a weird thing because it's like what from like the Victorian era, isn't
Yeah.
it? So it's just like it stems from they didn't have that accessible ingredients, so they just made this like horrible fruit thing.
I think that fruit was the ingredients. Like it's not like they knew there was any other. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was, fruit was like a luxury, and it's an
You
exciting
think
thing.
they
to
didn't have
at
Wheatos in the Victorian era? What do they eat?
Just fruit.
fruit.
Dried
dead,
fruit.
Dead. Loser. Dead. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, cool. And so recipe development is well. Look, I think you're going to come up with some bloody good recipes.
Thanks.
I'm not
going to
buy
try
it.
them.
I'm not
No,
going to buy it.
mind.
No.
What
But
about
I
if I
expect
give you the book?
Free copy?
Okay, I'll give you the book, and then will you bake something from it?
Yeah.
If you give us the book, we'll put it up in the studio, up on the TV or something.
What
do you mean?
We'll have it sort of
Leave it
like
there.
like there or in the background. We'll figure it out. We'll put it somewhere so
On
we
a
can have it.
plinth.
Yeah, exactly.
So what I want to talk about with you, right, is
Okay.
when you're having these
Go on.
disastrous times on the show,
Yeah.
stressful,
Yeah.
you're thinking to yourself, I'm doing this in front of the nation, blah, blah, blah. How do you recover from those periods of panic? Or how do you continue to make such baking excellence during those periods?
So medication helps.
Okay.
I think
Were you
that.
drunk the whole time?
they give you just slapping a. Paul Hollywood comes around with the Zans and it's like, guys,
I
fucking
dropped
chomp 'em.
MDMA before every episode.
Yeah.
I was buzzing. I was there just digging with the ovens. Just
Yeah.
okay.
Just
No, I
ripped
think-
in a massive dude with Paul outside.
What do you
I
think?
think.
What do you-
I don't.
You don't want
I think.
okay.
I mean, I'm medicated in the sense that like, a lot of the population probably are medicated.
Okay.
I take some drugs for my OCD tendencies.
Right.
Oh, what have you
Um,
got? Is it sort of?
He's got anxiety.
I've got anxiety.
And yet he still doesn't turn up on time normally. But anyway.
That's not an anxiety. He's got so
Yeah.
much shit going on in his head. Leave him alone.
Yeah.
Do you know how hard it
You-
is for
you
him
think
just
he's
to walk
got-
down the street if he's got
You
anxiety?
think he's got that a lot of shit in that head? Come on now. We've talked to him for a bit.
I can see it in his eyes. There's a
I
lot going
don't
on.
want to patronise people. I think this man can achieve greatness. I'm not going to let him off for coming late every time. But
I mean, he was early.
I was earlier than
today.
you today. Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, which is true, because I had to go at you on Tuesday. Because I said to him, we've got to record this. This is going to wake up.
Again,
We've
these
got-
are
we've got to
all-
record
these are
this.
all
We've
things
got to
that-
finish at 2:30. I've got another meeting. He turns up 15 minutes late.
Good.
Are you hoping to finish at 2:30 today?
No. No chance.
That's a relief.
Yeah.
No.
Zero chance.
But-
We've got about 12 minutes of usable material so far.
Okay, sweet.
But so you have anxiety and you take.
Yeah, so it's generalized anxiety, OCD kind of tendencies, but I've had it like most of my adult life, and yeah,
Is it like obsessive thought or is it more like physical as in?
it's very specific around a phobia that I've had. I'm emetophobic, which means I have a fear of vomit and people being sick around me and me being sick, and I've had it all my life.
Oh.
And so my OCD tendencies very specifically gear up to like ways of avoiding that.
So I used to have, when I was a teenager, a similar thing. If I was going to do something really nerve-wracking, like really, really scary, it could be even really stupid things like going on a first date or something. I'd freak out and be like, "Oh my god, what if I'm just sick?" Like that would be like the worst
Yeah.
thing ever. And like you'd like play it
His
over
was
and over
different.
and
It's
over.
like, what if I'm too sick for them? Like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
too
yeah,
much
yeah.
of a legend. Like,
Nice,
you know what I
nice.
mean?
Yeah, that's how we deal with mental health on this show. Just ha ha. Yeah.
We call
the
it
best
those
way.
fail. You get over your fails. Let's get this
Yeah.
out of the open.
Absolutely
But
the
you
best
don't be
way.
like,
Just
don't be like,
fucking,
oh my god. We should be like, yeah, fucking same thing as anything. I'm a big believer in mental health should be dealt with the same as any sort of physical injury. It's like, instead of, if you've like broken your leg, you should be like, yeah, like I guess I have like broken my leg, but like nobody talk about it. Like, if you're like, oh shit, do you want any help? Like let's let's get this out there and open. Stop.
You saw all the help he was giving just then. It
Because-
was in abundance.
Well, I'll give you. I'll soon the mic off. I'll help you out, but help this guy out all the time. But yeah, I'm a big believer in that, because otherwise, and I've seen it firsthand, people just push it down and then it comes out in breakdowns or worse. So I think it's good that you're able to talk about your anxiety. And when you were before dates getting stressed, what would you do to calm down?
But breathing exercises, nothing you can really do. If you're about to go into a situation that you know is going to be stressful, and you know you've got this phobia and it's like playing over and over in your mind, you can try and distract yourself and you can just like breathe. I know it sounds really stupid, but that's it, really, isn't it? Just breathe.
Yeah.
There's not much you can do. Like you also just got to hold on to the fact that you know that you are going to go on a first date or like whatever it might be, like go do something stressful, and you're not going to vomit everywhere and pass out. That's not going to happen. You just got to hold on to that. But it's very difficult when you're like spiraling in a kind of panic attack to really know that that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you feel the same?
I think my experience of it, because it was so specific to this phobia, like I'm very relaxed about most things. Like I'm quite chilled out about life. And then like all it would take is for someone to say to me, oh God, last night I was up all night throwing up. Don't know what's the matter with me. Anyway, come here, give me a hug. And I'd just be like, whoa. And that's when it would kick in.
Right.
And so interestingly, the OCD stuff was all about like hand washing, making sure that I don't touch like the poles on the tube or like buses and stuff, just specifically in case I caught like a vomiting bug. So norovirus is like my worst nightmare.
Have you ever actually had it?
No.
Oh, lucky.
So yeah,
You have thrown up before, yeah.
I have thrown up before, but it was a very long time ago.
Oh, done well.
Yeah. So there were lots of avoidance behaviours that were part of like regular routines, and that's what the OCD kind of. So they were like, oh, you've got very specific OCD and very specific anxiety relating to that. But I think like all of my anxieties. So if there was anything that I was feeling nervous about, it went into that pot, and then it was just that got bigger and bigger and bigger. But in terms of other life, like I don't get nervous about anything because it all goes in this one place.
Right.
That's amazing. So when you were on the show, and you were like cocking up with your brownies, or, you know, I've watched the episodes.
Yeah.
And
all of them,
yeah, Noel comes over and goes, "So how's it going?"
That's a very good impression.
Yeah, thank you. You in those instances, you generally were like, "This is cool."
Yeah, no, that was cool. That was cool. Like, I think you just have to kind of go with it, and it's nerve-wracking. I think when you think about what you're doing, but I tend to not think about stuff too much. Like, just keep that there. Like, Noel Fielding's, that's lovely. Noel Fielding's coming over, having a chat with Noel about my brownies. That's nice. Like, just go with it. But then on the week that I went out was 1980s week, and Laura, it was like the hottest day of the year, and we were in the tent, and it was horrific.
Is it really hot? Because I watched
horrific.
Celebrity Bake Off. That guy fainted. That YouTuber.
Yeah.
He just collapsed because it was
Couldn't
so hot
handle
in
it.
the tent. Yeah.
Couldn't handle it.
Couldn't handle the
Not like
heat.
Lottie.
Couldn't handle the
Just gone
pressure.
with it.
Yeah.
But
you know
also,
what I mean?
What, do they not have aircon in the tent?
no,
What?
there's no aircon.
Do you think they do that on purpose?
I think it's hard to set up aircon if I'm thinking of it from a logistical
It's a
point
field
of view.
in the middle, tent in the middle of a field.
We
Where's
haven't
the
got
aircon
like
gonna come from?
generators.
And
that
also
would
the
power
noise
that.
as well.
I mean, they definitely have electricity in there, and you can literally
The
there's an
ovens.
aircon unit there.
Yeah, no, I do hear what you're saying, but for some reason it's just never been a thing. I think it probably does add to
That's
the,
what I
the
think.
element, doesn't it?
I think the producers don't do it on purpose.
Also, as well, this is again, for aircon, don't you need to have a sealed environment? That's how aircon.
But the tent is sealed.
No,
It's
the
not
tent
what-
is not sealed.
Well, it's not like it's just open walls.
No, it's a tent, but it's got like the sides come up and they have fly screens, so
Yeah.
they look closed, but it's actually air. But that makes it sound as though it's like got cool air blowing through it.
Yeah.
It doesn't, because in the middle of the summer it's just still. So it's very, very hot. So I was all completely fine until that really hot day, and then Laura was behind me and she was like, we were doing a technical, and she was like, "I'm so hot, I'm going to be sick," and I instantly was like, okay.
Whoa.
And I was like, I need to think of a way of dealing with this. And so I looked at my producer and I said, if she's sick, I'm leaving. And I mean, like, I'm leaving. I'll just walk out of that tent and I just won't come back.
Right.
And he was like, okay, eyes on me. And he was brilliant. And he was just like, stir the jam, and now we're going to do this. And I was just looking at him the whole time and just shutting it off. She then threw up in her mouth and swallowed it.
Whoa.
Devastated. And I was just looking at him, just stirring my jam, thinking just got to get through it. And I did get through it. And that's the thing, isn't it, with things like this? Like, that was if you'd said to me, like, what's the worst case scenario, that would have been it. It happened.
Live TV and worse fear.
I mean, it's not live, but yeah. TV.
TV, there's a live element to it, because had you then passed out, they would have definitely put it in the show.
100%, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Was the waiver, do you have to sign a thing being like, anything that's filmed in this tent we can use, basically?
I mean, the contract's thick.
Yeah.
I don't think I really read it.
Yeah.
Just signed
if
it.
they put that celebrity guy passing out, they definitely would have put you. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's very, very intense. So do you think her saying that she was sick, do you think that is what hindered your performance?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Because since then she said to me, I tend not to talk to people about my phobia. I mean, God knows how much of this you're going to use. I tend not to talk about it just because it's an instant vulnerability for me, because you're always going to get like a group of lads. You say that in a group and one of the lads is going to be like, and then you're like, oh, funny. And then it goes on, and then it kind of turns into this.
Out of the moosh.
That's the thing, like people do. But I've had a lot of therapy for it. I've had hypnotherapy, I've had CBT, I've had exposure therapy for it. I went to the Priory a couple of years ago, found an emetophobia specialist, and I was on a what are they called? When it's an experiment, but it's science.
Experimental.
No, what's that called?
A trial?
Trial, thank you. So it's on a trial.
Experimental science, yeah.
Humans went therapy, but it's an experiment. There you go. You're welcome.
So that was really cool, because I got to do a trial where there were lots of other people because it's actually a really common phobia.
Yeah.
And there were lots of people who were on this trial with me, and so we were all going through like doing different bits of his hypnotherapy, his, various different things, exposure therapy. I had to play with vegetable soup, emulate like throwing up with it. I had to
So
eat
they were just
stuff.
having a laugh then.
They were just pissing themselves in the background, taking notes.
What show was this?
Yeah. You can view it online. So that I've been through a lot of that stuff, and I think that this was the first time that I was really putting it to the test. And yeah, I think I did all right.
Do you think you're in a better place since going to the Priory and
definitely.
exposure?
I mean, let's just say, like, I went to the Priory because that's where the main dude was.
Is the Priory a famous place?
So, yeah, it's like a
Don't
famous,
pretend
like,
you've never heard of it, Ali.
Honestly, what's the Priory?
it's a very famous mental health facility. It's probably the most famous.
Like for
in the UK.
rehab?
Yeah, for rehab.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's for rehab and mental health, but they do keep them separate because
so
otherwise
this
that'd be
is the thing.
chaos.
This is the thing. So I pulled up for the first time, like I'd organised this meeting, and I went into the Priory thinking like, oh God, and there were just rock stars everywhere, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. But I'm actually here for a serious thing, and I was trying not to freak out about it. And then after that, he was like, thanks for coming to meet me here, but actually all of your appointments are going to be happening at the Maudsley down the road. And I was like, oh, okay, cool.
It's pretty good. They keep the mental health in there.
Yeah.
That will be.
Yeah.
Okay. And so how are you feeling about it now? You able to keep it on a daily basis?
Yeah, like I feel so much better than I ever have done. But I think that if, the Bake Off thing was so funny because we all had to have like a psych analysis. And I went in there and she said like, I told her that I was medicated, I was on sertraline, it's a very low dose, like I told her all of this stuff, and I was like, and I know that this is where she's going to be like, unfortunately you can't be on the show because you're too like volatile or whatever, and I was like, I handle stress really well, the only thing that would set me off is if someone was sick. Like if I fed Prue and Paul and they threw up on my food, I would have a hard time. And she was like, and what do you think are the chances of that happening? And I was like, slim to none. She was like, great. Anyone else throwing up in the tent, what are the chances? I was like, slim to none. And then I got there and I was like, Laura, are you joking? But it was fine. Like I handled it. Do you know what I mean?
Did she just give the producer a little wink?
She
just
I
done the
think
dirt on you.
What's
She
so
was there like
sad?
that. Oh yeah, throw it up. Was it?
What's so sad is that she had no idea about my phobia, and I've told her about it since, and she was genuinely devastated. She was just like, if I'd known,
no.
I wouldn't.
Oh, is it? Oh my God.
So,
oh well, but you were so good to get that far.
Yeah.
is there are people friendly as contestants, or is there an element of competitive? Because if he was on it, he would be trying to find out everyone's fears to crush them.
If I was
That
on
would
it,
be-
first question, what is this show?
Yeah.
Second
of all, how do I win? Yeah.
Second question, have you tried my mum's caramel shortbread?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
that's it. And I would have no more.
I think it's a very, very like friendly family vibe show. That you're competing for a cake stand ultimately. Do you know what I mean? Who needs that? Not me.
Also, because the producers must know the tone of their own show, and it's not a Big Brother
No.
Love Island style. We want Hellraisers in here. People
Yeah.
watch Bake Off for that warmth,
Yeah.
for that feeling of these are all people you'd like and get on with.
Yeah.
But it is still a competition. So is it?
It is still a competition. I'm incredibly competitive, and I don't tend to apply to anything unless I know I'm going to win. And if I don't think I'm going to win, I just won't apply. Which is another reason that all of my friends were like, "This is a stupid idea because you're clearly not going to win it because there are better bakers than you." And I was like, "No, I'm fully aware of that, but it's too late now because I applied on the loo, so it's
You're in.
done."
Yeah.
But how did you feel then about not winning?
I just took it as I knew I wasn't going to, so I just went along for the laugh.
Okay.
Like, I didn't go in thinking at any point I'm going to win. I didn't go in at any point thinking I'm going to get Star Baker or a handshake or anything. I literally just thought, wow, obviously not going to win, so I'm just going to crack on and have a laugh, really. And that's what I did.
And that is the attitude that captured the
nation's heart. Yeah.
Weird.
But I think that sometimes you have that though, don't you? When you go into situations where you're already in your head thinking, I'm not gonna. There's not a lot of pressure on me. I'm just gonna go in and have the best time I can. Then you can sometimes perform at your best. We all know from gigging. Sometimes when you go in, the crowd's shit, they're rowdy, and you just think, well, this ain't gonna be the best gig I've ever had. So I'll just go on. And you're so relaxed on stage.
And you kill it. Equally, you have the reverse of that, where you're like, the audience seem really up for it, and you're like, I'm going to smash this gig, and that's when you fucking eat shit. really die. When you go in there being like, if you have to do 2 gigs in quick succession, like you smash the first one, you roll up being like so confident, you're like, here we go, party time, get on there, and that's when they really get you.
How did you you're right. I thought that was your tongue. I was like, that is a crazy tongue you got there. Lottie, not gonna lie, sort of like Venom.
So gross.
Yeah, sorry, I have to keep drinking that. But
Yeah, me too.
We make every guest do that. Drink a disgusting drink during the podcast. That's our sort of hot ones challenge.
Yeah.
You got a gross drink. What were Paul and Prue like? Were they tough? Were they?
Prue is an app, like she's a living legend, and I have watched cooking programs all my life, and so I watched her on Great British Menu. She was a judge on that. Obviously, I'm imagining you've never even heard of it, let alone seen it. But it's a really good show. And
What's the television?
the Paul, on the other hand, I was like less of, not in a personal sense, but I was less of a fan of, as in like I didn't really know
Lottie hates Paul Hollywood.
Yeah, thanks for it. Let's pop that out there.
The truth revealed. Paul Hollywood's wanker.
I think
she might as well have said.
Paul's a pervert.
I just didn't know. I just didn't know like much about Paul.
Signals.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Okay. Don't worry, we won't put that in.
So Prue was a massive legend, and I really wanted to meet her. And when I did, she's like a really cool gran that you just really want her to be your grandma.
Yep.
Like she's super cool, and she like references the '60s a lot. Like she's so cool.
Cool.
And then Paul is kind of like panto, like demon-y kind of vibes. Like he just wants that kind of like, so on as soon as it's action, then he's like walking around looking, and plays up to it. But he's lovely in real life.
Got it.
I think.
What has been your strangest or like most intense kind of fan interaction?
Well,
Now?
in a way,
Oh, sorry,
you guys are not fans. So
huge fan, whatever your name is.
Yeah, I think
love you on Great British Menu.
What? Yeah.
the Instagram world is quite scary sometimes, just because people are quite free. Like no one's going to pull them up on it.
Has anyone sort of painted a picture of you?
Yeah, lots.
Wow.
Yeah, I've had lots of pictures.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Doing what? Just standing there with a bait with a tree?
Yeah, so there's been like a couple of shots that we used as like promo shots for the show, and a lot of people have like, I've had like pencil drawings and like pastels. Someone did a watercolor.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
One of those pictures is actually on my Hinge profile.
Oh, legend. If I should be so bold.
On your Hinge profile, do you put anything about baking?
I just write like producer/baker. That's my job.
Right.
But
Gosh.
I'm not gonna
You
lie
don't
to
need
you.
any
Like,
tips anymore, Tom. You're off the market.
I'm long out of the game.
Yeah.
yeah, don't ask me for tips. No idea what I'm doing.
Have you had any famous interactions that people have been like, loved you on Bake Off, from like people that you thought were famous?
Yeah, a couple. But they kind of said it on Twitter and then didn't tag me in it. So like Zoe Ball was very nice about me. Greg James was very nice about me. Obviously, I've never spoken to them. But yeah, no.
I haven't replied to my tweets since.
I'm just gutted.
Oh, you like the bake, you like the cakes, don't you?
Yeah.
I made a Louis Theroux cake in my first episode, and I really thought that he might, just say thanks,
say something,
or even like hi.
Yeah.
And he didn't, and everyone was like, and he like tweeted, "Someone's made a cake of me, apparently," or something like that.
Right.
I was absolutely devastated.
You didn't tweet about me like, it's me.
No, I don't really use Twitter because it scares me. Twitter was brutal as well when I was on the show. That was like constantly. I mean, like you've got those friends, haven't you, who are just like desperate for you to succeed, and you've also got those friends who are like desperate to show you the shit that's going on behind your back.
Yeah.
And so a lot of those people were like, "Oh, have you seen this?" Like they're all going mad. It's basically like my hair was a big topic of conversation because my hair is completely unmanageable and naturally
you got lovely hair. What are you talking about?
Thank you. I'm not asking for compliments. And when I
That's the first one I've given you in 50 minutes. Don't worry about
naturally, no, but like you're nice. But like naturally, I have very, very curly hair, and it's huge and it's very difficult to tame. And like in a hot tent, it was just going really, really big and really frizzy. And I was doing my best to like tie it up, and I constantly had producers coming over to me being like,
cakes.
I know.
What about your fucking hair?
I know. And the constantly producers would be like, "Lottie, sorry, there's a bit of hair just sliding down your face. Can you just pop that behind your ear?" And I'd be like, "Do you think I've got time for this shit right now? Like I'm barely holding this together." So at the time I was like, "Oh, that nothing will come of that." And then like all over Twitter, it's like, "Oh my God, it's disgusting. Her hair's going in her food. I wouldn't eat any of that food. It's definitely got hair in it." And I was just like, guys, like boring.
Bald men. They're bald men. So
yeah. So there was a lot of that.
There's a lot of them. Fuck that. Yeah, they're just jealous.
Yeah, I mean, Twitter was brutal.
Yeah, Twitter is brutal.
A couple of other people had it much harder than me, and I actually got off quite lightly. The fan, if we have to call it that, like the people who are messaging on Instagram are normally quite complimentary, and quite nice. You just have the odd one.
Do you have like some insane like hardcore trolls? Just people.
No, I've been very lucky.
Oh, amazing.
I'm sure now that will happen. I basically asked for it.
Well, after this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mainly from me and Tom.
How many people listen
Our troll
to this?
account.
Yeah, troll account, sorry.
Tens. No.
10
More than
people.
Bagel. Don't
More
worry
than
about
Bagel,
that.
yeah.
Don't worry
Okay,
about that.
sweet,
It's all-
sweet.
No, people will listen. You'll get some nice.
There's as many
messages.
people as in the tent of Bake Off.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
No, we love all our listeners. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for listening, and we hope to meet both of you one day.
Yeah.
So, have you had any really weird companies that want you to be their spokesperson, or like weird deals? One we get all the time. Well, I don't want to shout them out anymore. Well, I won't say the name of them because we're not actually officially said. But
We're
it's for
ball-
hair removal cream.
Male hair removal
The
cream.
balls. For
Yeah.
balls.
Thank
That's-
you. Yeah, I can get it. Yeah.
And
Did
trimmers.
Do you get them as well?
Yeah.
I have a lot of odd companies, certainly with odd things that you're like, and why would you want me as your face
Yeah.
of that?
I-
Like what? Like what?
I can't say really. Like I
You
don't
have to
want
say
to
the companies. Like, what do they do?
Have you done any brand endorsements? Can I ask?
I've been very particular about stuff. So like I'm happy to give people, like if you want to send me cake, I'll happily pop up a little story about it.
Yeah.
But if you want me to like actually do stuff about it, but I did something with a dating app, and
What, you signed up, you mean?
well, no, this is the thing. I'd never signed up and I never had used it, and I had to do a fair bit of promo for them.
Oh, that's all right. I'm somewhere in India. I'm the face of an Indian dating app. I pop up,
great.
so don't
You had to
worry.
brown up for it. It was weird.
Yeah.
But,
Wow.
Yeah, they got really annoyed. I was like, no, it's fine. I'll do it. Obviously, I didn't brown up, you idiot.
Okay.
You idiot.
I mean,
But
I
did do an Indian dating app, but I clearly did not brown up.
Easy. I didn't know which bit of that to believe.
Yeah, no, it was an
All of it.
advert. That's all of it. But you got to do what you got to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
so,
yeah.
what did you have to do for the dating app?
No, I browned up, you idiot.
What do you have to be like? You have to have the perfect recipe to find a match. Like,
No, so I went on a load of like local radio stations, and I was on Sky News telling people about dating in lockdown and how it was actually great because of this app that you could use. I don't know if you've ever heard of dating apps, but
And have you got like a manager or an agent or people looking after all that kind of thing?
I have both.
Okay.
I have a manager who is actually my best mate, so I just call her my manager and give her some money sometimes, but she's pretty good at everything.
Cool.
And then I have an agent who deals with money stuff.
Great. Amazing. Sweet. And he'll be the one who vet you deals. And do they handle?
She.
Sorry. So rude.
Honestly,
Unbelievable.
2021.
Terrible. What is this? A joke. Did she,
And
yeah. Yeah. That won't make the cut.
Oh, gutted.
Yeah. It could have
Indian
actually been a
stuff- the
them,
Indian stuff,
so
well, don't
you
worry.
didn't think of that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, but he's trans.
Yeah,
actually,
it's them. So they. Yeah.
So, what's her? You work with her, and you like having an agent. I mean, this must have been what a whirlwind for you. Just, I suppose, over the space of about a month, you went from this,
Nobody.
this absolute who cares, nothing interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, from just a what you'd say a normal life to the nation's favorite baker.
Baker.
That. So I think I have worked, because I've worked in the industry, like I worked in theatre for a long time. I spend a lot of my time with agents and actors and stuff, and so the world wasn't new to me. And certainly dealing with agents, I mean, they're all arseholes, and I've been dealing with them for my whole career.
That's why I
and
don't
so
wanna get one.
I love
suddenly-
mine. A great guy.
Yeah, shout out.
Or her.
Or them. So yeah.
So I was very nervous about getting an agent because I've always been on the other side. And then I kind of thought, no, I need to do this to make me look legit. So
And they'll be able to vet you and like be able to tell you what's a good contract and a shitty contract.
yeah, which is why neither of you have spoken to either my manager or my agent about this.
There's no way
Why-
they would let you on.
Yeah, there's no way.
There's no
Oh,
way.
like 2 seconds of us talking, and then be like, "Yeah, we're gonna make jokes about,
I think in the next 24 hours when we're editing and posting
Yeah.
this, I'll be getting a call being
Yeah.
like, I think
Well-
just Lottie's agent here.
Yeah.
Just say you can't post that.
You can't. Yeah, you can't really open with you talking about the ball shaving that you.
Well, we won't mention their name
Yeah.
because it's all they haven't offered us anything. But anyway.
They just offered us the razor. We were like, we're not going to promote it.
I thought you
just
said
for
it
the
was
razor.
cream.
Well, it's a bit of both. It's like a sort of pack.
Oh, man's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cream and
Mooch knows. You got hair. Yeah, exactly. He's got the hairy beard, but there's nothing after his neck. That's it. Just
Like a
clean like a
dolphin.
dolphin.
So it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
Exactly. But just a little bit more about that. So you worked in theatre, producing shows, and that's obviously a stressful job.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you liked being in those situations. I
Yeah, it works for me being under pressure in that kind of way.
And how do you feel moving your life from that to a different pressure? Like you could walk down the street, no one cares, but your day to day was very hectic.
Yeah.
Whereas I assume now it's like you have complete more autonomy of what you want to do.
It's hard.
But is it? Yeah.
It's been quite a hard transition, and I think that the COVID stuff, obviously, like theatre as an industry is really, really struggling, and you know, you guys know this, like live comedy, live performance of any kind has been really, really rough. And
I was
think
struggling before anyway. So.
Yeah, fair enough. So I went from producing proper theatre, so I worked at Hampstead Theatre for 3 years. Like I think that is like grown-up theatre.
Oh, yeah,
Don't know why you're putting on that
fabulous.
voice because it's literally in Swiss Cottage. So
Swiss Cottage, I know where that is. I grew up in Highgate. I know exactly where that is. So don't try and downplay Hampstead Theatre like it's some kind of, you know, working
edgy.
with, you know,
Very
really
edgy.
rough kids from the estates and kind of getting them to put on Hamlet.
We actually have a sponsorship program for overprivileged kids
Yeah.
who aren't getting the opportunities because of their heritage.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
3 years in the rough streets
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Hampstead Theatre.
I'm only because I'm insecure about my own background. But tell me more. So you
So I was
Hampstead
doing
Theatre, grown up theatre. So
Yeah.
this isn't like, you know, Tina Turner best of. This is
No. Although I'll be honest, that rakes in.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because I was talking to someone who produces theatre in Coventry, and they were just saying like literally all people want to see, all they get in is like the Queen musical, the Tina Turner musical, the
touring
whatever,
stuff
take
brings
that
in
musical.
money, like.
Yeah.
But so I was doing that kind of grown up stuff, and then I supposedly my career trajectory would have been to go into the West End, and I didn't. I decided to help my mate run his panto company. So I worked in panto for about 2 years,
Now
just
it's
me and my
behind
mate.
you.
Oh my
Would
God,
you ever
so
do?
boring. So boring.
Yeah. It's been waiting
Get it.
all even.
Do you know what,
he
though?
would have written that the night before because he
Alright.
knew you worked in
Let's cut.
theatre.
All right, we cut there,
Yeah.
guys. Thanks so much.
Would
Thanks
you-
so much, Lauren?
Would you ever do a baking theatre show? Would you ever do a kind of baking musical? Bake Off the musical? Genuinely, I think people would watch that.
Yeah, I don't know what that looks like, but yeah, I'd be up for that.
Do you want to hear my $1 billion musical
Yes,
idea?
please.
Okay, good. It's a good pitch. I've been talking about this for a while. Yeah, we will cut this. But okay, so it's a musical based on one-hit wonders about two songwriters in the 90s trying to write a one-hit wonder, and all the songs are one-hit wonders from the 90s and early 2000s.
Okay, but what's the song that they write?
They'll write their own individual one, but the general music is like Dancing in the Moonlight,
Details.
Chesney Hawks, you know, all
Yeah.
one-hit
Well,
wonders
Dancing in the
from the
Moonlight's
80s
a cover, though,
and
so
90s.
that's-
And and there'll be one original song that they write.
That's surely quite integral to the piece, is that you've
Well,
got
no,
to
but
write a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, but like the main hits are going to be the ones everyone knows.
Okay, so PRS bill's going to go through the roof.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy, but I reckon they'd all sign
I was
up.
going to say the same.
They-
PJS, where
Yeah.
the bill was really.
All I will say though, all those bands, or everyone who has a one-hit wonder, would love to sign up for it because they all want to make the most amount of money for their one-hit wonder.
Yeah.
What,
Okay.
what are we thinking?
I think
it's
she
a-
loves it.
Yeah, it's called Wonders. Okay,
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've thought, you know,
Like Wonders with the number one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, yeah.
Yeah.
And two songwriters struggling to write a one-hit wonder, and then they do it, and that's the plot. There'll be some other stuff in there that I haven't, you know, really figured out, but
Yeah, it's definitely got legs.
yeah, people would watch that, you know.
I wouldn't, but people would.
People would, yeah.
So,
Anyway,
you're.
other things we're gonna cut.
So anyway, you're working with your friend's pantomime. What was that like? I mean, I imagine like this is what I hear about children's television is that pantomime is like that in that the front of house stuff is all. Whoa, crazy! Whoa, wacky! And then backstage, everyone's like, "Fuck off, mate!
Yeah.
I'm seriously literally
Smoking fags and doing
literally, The back end of the
Yeah,
horse is like,
fuck
"Come up!" Being like, "Fucking hell, Reach! That was a fucking tough one, wasn't it?" But is it like that, or is it all
Yeah.
friendly and nice or fun? Or
No, it's like that.
Yeah.
Me and him were producing pantos, so we weren't at specific venues. We did like 6 or 7 venues every year. So we would do like the Christmas season. So from September until about February, it'd be really flat out manic, and then we do an Easter tour, an Easter panto tour, because that's the thing, for like the summer Easter holiday, blah blah. And so it was actually a full-time job, but it meant that I could work from home as well. So that's kind of why I did it, just to like get out of London and work from home and be a little bit more independent. Living with my family, so it was really good. But yeah, there's definitely like when you go on tour and stuff, it's chaotic. They're good people though, like
Yeah.
they're really good fun.
Do you think now that is behind you and baking is the full-time gig, or do you think you'll ever go back to it, or are you just seeing where it goes?
I think it's really tricky. Like I'll ride this wave as long as I can, but people are going to get bored. Do you know what I mean? The new Bake Off will come out and I'll be old news, and so let's see what comes of it. And then I'll go back to theatre probably.
Got to get that YouTube going, or that TV show landed.
Yeah.
What would you want to do though? Would you want to go out to theatre, or do you want to?
I love theatre. Yeah. I love working in theatre, but I just like being part of that team, and it's just really because you're all in it together, because like it's shit hours and like you're getting paid nothing, and so everyone's in this same boat together, where it's just like, oh, but you know, you still go for a drink and it's all good fun, and I really, really miss that. So I'd like to go back to that, but the reality is like the landscape of theatre is going to have changed, and it will take either a very long time to come back, or it will be changed forever because of COVID. Lots of smaller venues, certainly the receiving houses, like regional theatres, just won't be able to. They'll shut down if they haven't already.
Yep.
There's no money in it at all for producers, so I think it will be tricky. And I'm just very, very lucky that I've had this opportunity happen now. And I'll just keep going with it until I don't anymore, and then I'll do something else.
Coming on all of this
being on this podcast, yeah.
Good.
So finally, someone actually
I know the appreciation we
values.
deserve.
You know, you walk down the street and people are like, "Is that
from All I Do Is Fail?"
All I Do Is Fail podcast, and you're like, "No, don't associate me with that."
No.
With that.
Yeah.
So finally, I mean, I asked you because we were talking about fails.
Yeah.
We were talking about, and Lottie said to me, she was like, I literally failed at nothing. And I was like, I can believe it, I'm exactly the same. But is there anything...
It's not what I said, is it?
Sorry, I'm talking. But is there anything... is there any... what sort of fails could we break? It doesn't have to be in-depth, but is there maybe a dating fail or a career fail that you have? What would you like... This is how you get... Yeah. Smash out, pantomime.
You only hit us with one or two, because you've shared so much already.
So,
too much, some might say.
So, is there anything here that you want to share? What sort of fail are we talking? And just.
So you'd prefer, because you asked me for career fails, and you also asked me for dating fails.
They're the two that we often get. The big time on here.
Okay, so it's tricky, isn't it? Because I've written down the fails, and then I specifically said to you there are a few fails that will get me cancelled.
Yeah.
We want those ones. They're the good ones.
It's when she was on an Indian advert as well.
Yeah. I mean, she did brown up.
Oh, God. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
There are lots of things.
Everyone's done it.
I think probably if we... I went on. This is very nice and simple. We can have this one because it's really easy.
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, you're welcome. It's really not a fail. It was awful, but it was embarrassing. But so I was on a date. You know how because of COVID, we're doing like online dates, right? We're doing these like I'm saying we like there's like a massive. There are right.
The three of us all together.
All of us are on this date, and you do this video call thing. And since Bake Off, I found it kind of difficult because normally my dating thing on a dating app would be. You match, that's great, and then I go, great, do you want to go for a drink? Because I cannot be asked with the like constant like I don't want a pen pal, do you know what I mean? And then it turns into just shit. And then you meet up with them and then you're like, oh my god, you lied and you're only 5'11", devastated. So
welcome to his life.
I say I'm 5'11". Let's not get that wrong. Actually, they say I say you're taller than 5'11". I'm like, I'm actually 5 centimeters or 5'11". So
anyway, to cut all of that. To cut all of that.
For Ali, it's more like you're not a 6'2" black man. What are you?
I'm like being away, I saw
man. You know, yeah, they're not my photos, but it's my personality, and that's what matters.
It's the person I want to be.
Yeah,
I think that's what we should aspire to. So but my friend says I wouldn't meet up with him unless we've chatted for 2 weeks of messaging.
What about?
Exactly.
What have you got to say to a stranger for 2 weeks?
That's madness.
Ridiculous.
That's so boring.
It just becomes all about how was your day.
Yeah, how was your day?
I do think
I hate that.
so you have to do like a FaceTime.
So basically,
that's a really good idea for an app because it cuts so much chaff if you can just do a quick FaceTime.
This is another idea of Tom's to make him rich.
Yeah, another $1 billion idea. But this has already been done. It's been done. Yeah, good. Yeah. Okay.
So it's on all of the big apps now, and it means that because since Bake Off I'm a bit more nervous about giving out my number to people, the online dating scene has changed slightly for me in that I'm not going to be like, here's my number, let's go for a drink, because they might be odd.
Yeah.
So this whole
they might come with a cart of cakes and treats. I just want you to rate all of these and give feedback.
Yeah, that you just don't know.
And he's still 5'11".
Could you bake me into a cake?
That I get asked that a lot.
Really?
Yeah, it's mainly feet stuff actually. Like, could you bake with your feet, or like?
Whoa, okay.
Christ.
Whip the cream.
Wow, okay.
Me. I am going to get this story out. The punchline's not worth the wait now.
No,
taken quite this long. So when
time flies when you're in
Tom,
in a sort of terrorist holding cell that is this podcast.
These aren't even on.
It's been a lovely
This is all for his enjoyment.
Are you enjoying it?
I have enjoyed it. I've had a lovely time.
Okay, great. Anyway.
He blackmails me to be here. So.
I haven't had the amount of flashbacks I just had there with a woman looking at me going, did you enjoy that? you enjoy this? Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine, I guess. So, you were baking with your
oh my God. So I don't want to give out my number to random people anymore. So this is really good because you message them on the app and then you get to call them, like do the video thing. And so I thought that I would do this. And the first one I did, I'd like to sign myself up for it. I was like, fine. I got my face on. Got ready.
Did the lighting?
Yeah, I did. I got my ring light that I do for my cameos. People pay for me.
You
wish them happy birthday.
I'm on Cameo as well. So.
Yeah. I've not signed up yet, but I've been asked.
Yeah.
Is it worth it? Are you enjoying it? Cameo?
Is it worth it? It depends if you are going to put in the hours of like marketing, self-marketing. Like if I was to put out a story and say, come get me on Cameo, yes, it would be worth it.
Right.
It's just free money.
How many cameos would you say you've done?
I've done 223.
Yeah, same.
That's a. Can I ask how much you?
I charge.
All of which were him or his mother. So
0.
Yeah.
I think that the thing is they do corporate ones as well, so you should get on.
So can I ask how much?
Yeah. Again with the story. Story.
No, we just want the business advice. How much?
Have we told you about our one-hit wonders?
Yeah. So we got Next up, Cameo. We'll do it as like a duo. What do you reckon we could charge?
$5.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
That's like the minimum you can do.
No, so you can choose to. I don't charge people for direct messages because I don't want to do it. But you can charge them for like it's in dollars, obviously.
Okay.
So it can be like $3 for a message, and then I charge $45 for a video, which can be like 30 seconds to like a minute, whatever.
Whoa, and that's
corporate. I'm for some reason Cameo have set it at $350. So like if a corporate gig wants to do that, I do 24-hour turnarounds. That's $72.
Wow. And have you had corporate? Have you had corporate gigs?
I'm on it.
Yeah, there was. I've had one on Cameo. Yeah.
Wow.
And I was just like, oh, I'm really excited about this brand. That was it. Easy.
Okay.
Great.
The East Midlands Conference. Yeah. We're gonna bake some profit in that last quarter, everyone.
It is odd. Like, why would they come to me? But there we are.
Okay, so. You were about to have a video call.
With a bloke.
Video calls. I had my ring light set up. Everything was good to go. I'd got myself to a point where like I'd had enough of a chat with him that I thought he had chat. That's my issue, right? I'm looking for height and good chat.
Okay, is that it? Nothing else?
That is it. That is literally.
What if he was just an absolute rotter? Like, you just don't care?
No, but obviously you find that out, don't you? Like, but I mean, in order to get to this point, it's got to be about.
He's gone past your rotter screening
test. I just want the chat. Like,
what's the shortest person you would go to then?
6 foot.
Let's start. Okay, so 6'6", I assume is all good. 6'5", 4, 3, 2, 1.
She's going to stop at 6.
11, 5'11". No, 6 foot at least.
Look, I went out with the guy for 2 years. He was like 5'8", the same height as me. Yeah, 2 years.
2 years. All right. Cool.
And it was fine. It was lovely. But then, like, I just think that time's running out.
It was lovely. It was nice. It was like having a son.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm 33. I can't be dicking about. Like, finding people being like,
it's running out for sure.
I'm going to be dead.
My short era. It's done.
Yeah.
Like, you can't get with someone just sort of like thinking, oh, this is going to last 18 months.
You need to be looking for serious.
You've either got to fuck about and have fun with it, or you've got to invest time and do. What you can't do is the in between of like, maybe this will last 18 months to 2 years, because like, what a waste.
Yeah.
There's no time for that shit.
So he'd passed that. He was above 6 foot and he seemed chatty, but then you had the call.
So
he was only forehead in the shot. Hi, Lottie.
Basically.
Yeah, no, I'm standing.
And his chat was great.
I'm not even going to tell you the story.
The amount of comments we're going to get on YouTube of people being like, "Will these two cunts shut up?" will be unfathomable.
They say that when we don't even have a guest.
Yeah, exactly.
So
anyway, this guy got through the chat, did all that. So there was a whole episode of like the technology not working. So then like it cut out. So then like it was my face on the screen, and then it wasn't his face, and I still hadn't seen his face. Mm-hmm. So by this point, like 10 minutes has gone past, and it's still like him going hello, and me going hi. Can you see me? No, I can't see you. Oh, I can't hear you. Blah blah. So already I was like, this is a shit idea. I've changed my mind.
Yeah.
And then his face showed up, and I thought, okay, that's fine. Like, I can deal with that.
Okay. Oof.
And then
I can deal with it.
I can deal with that. And then he went, hi, and he had no teeth. Like, no teeth.
What? Like what? No.
No,
got-
he
he's
had
been
no
eating
teeth.
too
Not
many cakes.
zero
He
teeth.
had teeth started like back by here.
Oh.
And so he
and
had
then just
no
like
front teeth. And he had like that gummy, dangly, weird gummy thing in the middle.
So what was going on?
Well, right. So I saw that and instantly thought, okay, so he's going to have a really great story, and it's going to be like, I was on my skateboard, I fell off it, fucking awkward, so embarrassing that this is happening.
You're right,
Should have
that is
told you. Do
hilarious.
you know what I mean? It like would have been funny. Like he could have saved it with something like that, but he just didn't mention it at all.
What?
So he was just talking, and I was just staring at his mouth, being like, any minute now, he's going to be like, oh, and also sorry that I don't have any teeth.
I got
but
knocked out,
I
yeah.
got knocked out. I was punched in the face. I'm dead hard. Whatever. Like, make up a story, like something, and nothing came. And so then I literally did that thing that really you shouldn't do, which is just sort of like, oh, the connection's, oh, it's really, but I can't really hear you. I can't. Started like talking like that, moving like, and just said the connection's really bad, and then hung up. And the whole date lasted 9 minutes.
biting. Wow. That's-
Poor guy. I wonder what happened to his teeth.
But this is the thing. I
But how
wrote
did
the
so on
story.
his profile it
Yeah.
was just his mouth
So
closed.
then you go back, don't you? And then you look at the photos and you're like, how did I miss this? And in all of the photos, he's smiling beautifully with his mouth closed.
and standing on a stool.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, that's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy stuff. And how did you? So you just not reply to him afterwards? Did you go?
So then he was like, oh, it's a shame that we had to cut that short. And I was like, I think we
One different.
know
Did what we
I think we
need to
know
do.
what
One of us
what we're
wants
dealing-
teeth in this relationship.
Yeah.
And the other one is happy for us to have
I need you
I'm
to
a
be
fan
able
of
to eat
chewing
my
because
bacon.
I'm a
yeah.
bacon.
Literally.
Yeah. Not through a straw.
Yeah.
The sweet tooth is actually on the front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was the end of that.
Well, bless him. I hope he's doing all right. And if he wants to live a life with no teeth, then fucking fair play. But you got to
Also
find someone.
fine.
who
All I
wants-
will say,
But I
getting
should
teeth
put it
replaced,
on your-
very spenny, expensive.
Yeah. Thank you
Yeah,
for
it saves
explaining
that.
the term spenny to
Yeah.
me. I did know what you meant.
Well, you grew up in the mean streets of Hampstead, so I just thought, I need to really lay it to you.
Very expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched Made in Chelsea once. I think they said it there.
He was almost on Made in Chelsea. Did you know that? That's not even a joke.
I
You got
didn't
asked-
know that.
You got asked on.
Why didn't you go?
Because dignity.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
No, what's the
Short
real
story.
reason? What's the real reason? Yeah. Well, but that's good. And are you still on the dating apps? Is that still the?
Yeah.
Yeah. I gave him up. I just thought it was.
0 matches. And you just, fuck it.
Do you know what?
It's not
though?
worth it.
Like, I go through phases of it where I'm like, okay, now I'm going to do this. And then I'm so fucking bored of messages being like, hey, how are you? It's like, really?
Just show me your teeth.
like,
Yeah.
just do something. No, but like, do something.
Do you think there needs to be a dating app for serious dating? For people who
No,
are
'cause
like...
that's
This isn't
eHarmony.
Dragons Den, Tom. We can't just keep pitching.
No, but I just,
There
genuine
is
question.
there is dating apps for people who want to get married now.
Right.
That's like eHarmony and Match and all those things. They're for like serious people. I'm telling you now, if you find anyone on there that you have good chat and banter with, like, props to you. It doesn't exist.
Okay.
I don't want, like, I want the chat that you get on Tinder
Right.
with someone who actually wants to live in the countryside with me
Okay.
soon.
Okay.
And this is the.
This is an urgent. This is an
Casting
urgent
call.
appeal,
This
ladies
is
and
an
gentlemen.
appeal.
If you have great chat and banter,
Banter.
6 foot plus.
Yeah.
Teeth is now on the list.
Yeah.
It wasn't before.
Is
but
there anything
now on
else
the
you want to
list.
just put in there
And
for the
lives on the
listeners?
countryside.
No.
Any particular countryside? South, north?
I
Doesn't
don't
matter.
care.
Just the countryside.
Not all of the countryside.
Yeah, all of the countryside.
The Yorkshire.
I've got a lot of family near Scunthorpe,
Great,
and I
hit
don't think
me
you want to
up.
live there.
Oh, is it in the countryside? Where's Scunthorpe? Up north?
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet it's
Well, but obviously. Well, yeah, obviously.
That's the strap line for the Daily Mail. Lottie from Bake Off hates the North.
Well,
Lottie
obviously
from
by
Daily-
anywhere, I didn't mean like anywhere, like literally, like I meant I
No, I
meant
have
like
my
the south.
My family's from the north.
Obvious.
My family's from the north.
Oh, you should get where?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
North of London, yeah.
Lancashire.
Okay.
Where is that? Is that right?
Right,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
south
yeah.
countryside, above 6 foot, teeth, and great chat and banter.
Now.
You know where to
Yeah.
find
I
a
mean,
cameo.
not really, like now, just like soon.
Okay, just in the next sort of month.
Yeah.
Month or so.
Okay, cool. Well, good luck to you. I feel
Thanks
it
so
goes
much.
well.
Is that the end?
But this, well,
Can I leave now, please?
that was another one. Lots of flashbacks. Was that the end?
Yeah.
Is that it? All right. I'm glad you had a good time. Well, yeah. I mean, unless you have any questions for us.
No, she doesn't.
The only question is, why do you do this?
Yeah. Tell your agent I fucked up now. No, thank you so much for coming on. It was absolutely amazing. And, sharing all those stories and all those insights to Bake Off, people will genuinely be really, really interested in that. And also the mental health stuff, if you want to let us keep that in, that would be incredible, because I know people would really, really care, and that's what a lot of our listeners come for. So
really,
yeah. So we do a lot.
I
with
told you
mental health.
they love the bants, of course they do, but they also love the pathos in this and the what is going on in your head actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Behind the curtain, behind the cake.
Believe me.
That's what people want to see.
Behind the cake.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what you call your book.
It's not called that.
It's called Shitty Cakes.
I'm not
okay,
writing
that's done.
Shitty Cakes.
Should we go check out the Shitty Cakes stand?
Yeah,
You can see it.
So
Are you
good.
spelling it with like double D in the middle? Like
Shitty. Yeah, that's how you get being able to sell
Yeah.
it.
Shitty.
Shitty. Shitty cakes.
And then you can have
Shitty
be
cakes.
shitty.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, anyway, thank you so much for coming on. Listeners, you can follow me at all good social media platforms. And if you would like a bonus episode of All I Do Is Fail, you can subscribe to our Patreon, AIDIF Pod Patreon. Please get down there. It is an amazing place. And we have a nice little community going, and we'd love you to join it.
Yes,
Ali?
absolutely. Well, Lottie, where can people find you? Where's the
Instagram only
Instagram.
at Lottie Got Cake.
Lottie Got Cake?
Lottie Got Cake.
Yeah.
Nice. Did you have to pick the Instagram name before you went into Bake Off?
I did. I changed that just before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Smart. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Before it was Lottie Shitty Cakes. And
Lottie looking for a man, please help.
Before it was just at 6 foot plus.
Yeah.
Chat banter
Only.
hit DM.
Yeah.
And I'm obviously Ali with Gigs. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of All I Do So. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Good luck to England in the Euros. We got to do them. We've got to bloody do them. Are you watching the game? Are you a
course.
football fan?
Yeah.
I'm going to be in the
Yeah.
countryside this weekend watching the game. I'm not even going to be in London. I'm heartbroken, but yeah.
You're not going to do it in your dark room. We're fucked.
I know.
Tom watches it in a dark room on his own as like
An
a...
OCD ritual, and he kisses his mum twice and finds his jeans.
And you do the Christian thing that you don't really understand. Yeah.
I was quite emotional at the semi-finals. Anyway, come on England. We're going to do it. It's coming home. Please do it. It'd be the fucking best. I went over to Trafalgar Square, Leicester Square on Wednesday night. Oh, amazing.
Fun
Anyway, thank you very much for listening to another episode of All I Do Is Fail podcast. Thank you to Lottie.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you to Tom.
Thank you.
Thank you to the intern boy who did
I have
the
a name, but
production.
whatever.
Sorry.
Intern
Lucas,
boy,
Lucas,
yeah.
I know your name, but people frankly just don't care.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well done,
and-
intern boy, on getting a girlfriend.
Yeah. Well done to Lucas, the real win. And Mooch was in the studio as well. We hope you have a wonderful week. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.